What's up everyone, welcome back to another thumbnail tutorial. Today we're going to be doing a Fortnite YouTuber actually. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to make thumbnails for this YouTuber. A couple of you guys have requested recently that you wanted to know how to make thumbnails like Fe4RLess. And listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am quite stoked to show you guys how to do it because Fe4RLess is a really funny and entertaining guy. So if you guys have content that is like meme-ish or like trollish, or you like to do anything that is related to that in Fortnite, then this is the thumbnail tutorial for you. These thumbnails are very funny, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So just in case you don't know who Fe4RLess is, this guy posts like once a month and gets like 10 million views on each of his videos. So if you still don't know who Fe4RLess is, then I don't know what to say to you. So we're going to be doing thumbnails like this. So of course we're going to need Fortnite, and Fortnite is free. You can download it right now, but you probably already have Fortnite. And then you need Photoshop or Paint.net. I don't know if the certain tool that we're going to be using today is on Paint.net. So for now, just Photoshop. I already have Fortnite open, and he likes to troll defaults a lot. So that's going to be the main subject of our thumbnail. So I've already defaulted out, gotten rid of all of my custom skins and other accessories. We're going to go into creative, going to hit accept, and we're just going to do some ordinary default things. And it's preferable if you want to put multiple default skins in your thumbnails that you get like the different defaults, but it usually changes with each game that you play. So we're just going to go to our island and make sure that your setting is set to automatically be daytime, because you want it to be very bright. You don't want it to be dark, and I just set mine to noon because noon is like midday. It has to be the brightest time of the day. So we're just gonna I'm gonna find the default dance. So this one will be doing a default dance, and now we're gonna leave creative. So that's the basic gist. You can do this as many times as you want. If you only need one default or one person in your thumbnail, then obviously you just need to go into the game and do whatever it wants. But since I'm getting 2 more screenshots for this, I will have to go into creative mode 2 more times and get those clips. So I will get back to you guys after I've done that. After you've gotten all the screenshots that you need to go to career, replays, and just go to the replay recordings that you have of the game where you wanted to pose for your screenshot. So while this takes its time to load, I'm just gonna get rid of those because those are from the last season. So depending on how long you spent in game, you should use that to help you in determining which ones are which. So I'm just going to take a good guess for what the first one was, or actually I'll start with the latest one. Alright, so we have our subject here, the default. We're just gonna click this place, this bar where it says third person, and we're going to change that to drone free, so you can go anywhere you want. So we're going to try to get really close. Once I feel that we've been close enough, I'm going to use the scroll wheel to change the focal length. The higher you go, the closer it gets, and it adds depth of field that allows you to blur the background. And I actually just realized that I could probably use that for something. Okay, probably gonna go down a little. Then we're gonna click this eye right here, this eye icon, and that hides the HUD, or the heads up display. Now I'm going to take my first screenshot. I use this program called Lightshot, and it allows me to not only take screenshots, but it allows me to select certain areas of the screen just in case I don't want the whole thing. So I'm gonna hit print screen because that's the key that I use, and now it's gonna say select area. I'm gonna select this entire area, and then I'm going to go here and click copy. You can also, oh, my Amazon, I'm getting some nice red glasses. So you can click copy or you can click save. If you don't want to take up space with random screenshots, then you can just click copy. but you need to make sure that Photoshop allows you to copy and paste into it, because I know certain versions don't do that. So just save the image just in case. Now we need to paste this into Photoshop before we do anything else, otherwise we'll lose the screenshot. So we're going to open Photoshop. I'm using Photoshop CC 2019. Now we're just going to make a new project. So we're going to go over here if it loads up. There we go, create new. Okay, and we're just going to go here. We'll just call this Fe4RLess tutorial. And we're going to change the width to 1280 by 720. If you use the 2019 version, then it gives you all these presets based on the resolution of the screenshots that you take. So we're going to click create. That took very, very long. Okay, and now I'm going to hit Control V to paste. And if you're using the copy paste method, do this as soon as you paste it. Right click the layer, convert to smart object. If you need more information on why to do that, just look up smart object tutorials. Okay, so we're just gonna make this fill up the screen. For now, we're just putting this here, and while we're doing that, let's take the time now to take an empty shot. This shot is going to be where all three of our subjects are going to be. So it's just gonna be some grass. So I'm gonna hit print screen again, select the area, copy, and then paste. Right click, convert to smart object, drag this to the bottom, and I will do that for the remaining 2 default skins, and I'll get back to you guys once again. Okay, now that we have all of our screenshots assembled, this is where we get into the actual thumbnail making process. I'm gonna hold Alt and I'm gonna select the icon for our empty shot so that it only selects this shot. I'm gonna select it, hit Control T, and we're just gonna reduce the size, and that's all we're gonna do. So that a lot of the grass is showing and the sky. Hit enter to place and save our selection or transformation. Okay, so back to what I was saying about the depth of field thing. You see how the background is blurred, but the subject still remains in focus. So I'm gonna try to use a feature that I've been using lately, and I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but let's just see. Let's try it out. I'm gonna click where it says Magic Wand tool. I'm gonna click and hold it, and we're gonna choose Quick Selection tool. Okay, so first I'm gonna try using this feature. It's called Select Subject, and that just isolates the selection to whatever the subject that is. Actually did a pretty good job, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so now we gotta do some cleaning up, and once again, I'm trying this right now. I did not try this beforehand, so I'm gonna hold Alt while having the Quick Selection tool selected. And holding Alt, you see that this circle has a minus sign in it instead of the plus sign. I'm just gonna use that to refine the edges. Without holding Alt, I'm gonna go here and add parts of the pickaxe to it. This is very much of a trial and error process. Do not do that. If you make a mistake, hit Control Z. I'm gonna hold Alt again and get rid of this area from the selection. And this should work really well because especially for the hair, because it's not like in real life where there's hundreds of individual strands. I'm gonna try to select the necklace. Let's see how that works. Okay. Go down here. That looks good. Around this little area. Get rid of that. Okay, that looks good. I'm just checking over. Alright, this area should be gone. And yeah. Also, it helps very much to, let me see. make sure that the sample size up here is 5 by 5. That means that it's sampling the average color of the pixels in a 5 by 5 square. You can also do 3 by 3, but do not set it to point sample, otherwise it's just going to select the individual pixel, and if it's a different colored pixel that's next to that pixel, you're going to have to select those two, and that's just going to make it a lot longer. Okay, so now that we have our selection, we are going to click this little icon here that says add layer mask, and that just isolates this layer. And let's take a look. Okay, it seems like it's done quite a fair job. I'm not gonna lie. I don't see any green fringes on the edges or anything. Okay, so that saves a lot of time instead of using the pen tool. So I'm gonna see if I can do that again with these guys. I'm gonna make this the size of the entire screen, and let's go back, click select subject. Okay, another fine job. Wow. Get rid of that area. I wouldn't be surprised if this is what Fe4RLess does. Okay. Gotta get a little more precise. Gonna add the rest of his finger. Control 0 to zoom out. Okay, and we're gonna mask it again. Once again, looking nice. Wow, look at that. Okay, obviously there's not, could have been a better job here, but I have another way that we can remedy that. Okay, so now we have the third one. Control T and reduce his size, just so he fills up the whole screen. Select subject. Awesome. All right. Get rid of this area. That really helps because most of this area is essentially the same color. And for this one, I think this is the best it's done because the background is really, really blurred in this one. I'm not sure. I don't remember how I did this one to make the background very blurred, but we're just gonna mask it out compared to the background. Okay, so this one is looking way better than this one for some odd reason. So I'm gonna try with this still selected. We're gonna go to select and mask. I'm gonna try to see if we can smooth this guy's edges by moving a slider. See if contrast will help. Actually, let's not smooth the edge. Or maybe change the contrast. Let's shift the edge. Okay, yeah, so shift the edge. Moving it to the left reduces the edge, and shifting it to the left expands it. It's been a while since I've used this feature. All right, let's see if that helped. Let's see. Okay, it did okay, but once again, if you guys are a little skeptical, then I highly recommend you use the pen tool. Okay, so now let's go into our second phase. We're gonna move everything and put them all together. Put them in the right places. So we're gonna press V for the move tool. I'm gonna hit Control T, and we're gonna move this default over here. Then we are going to take this guy. I'm going to move him over here to the far right. Reduce his size a little bit. Then we're going to take the third one. Control T. And I mean, he's fine where he is. He looks a little smaller than the rest though, so we're just going to raise him up. We change the size a bit, and Yeah, okay. Just make her bigger, place her behind him, and then make him a little larger. Put him there. Okay. Now you're saying, well, that's fun and great, Zydash, but how do we like make their faces like big and distorted and disproportionate and stuff? Well, that's where we go to the liquify tool, and I think we're gonna start with the female default skin. So we're gonna go to, I think, filter, and then go all the way here to liquify. The shortcut is Shift Control X. I'm gonna open up the liquify tool. Whoa, what's this? Okay, all right, so we got some new features in the 2019 version. Hold on. Okay, so this is like for if you're actually trying to do like photo retouching, because it's limiting my thing, but it's like it allows you to slim the face. Okay, we don't care about that. What we care about is the bloat tool and the pucker tool. So I think I'm gonna start with the bloat tool, and what it does is, in the name, it like distorts it by expanding it from the center like that. So I think I'm gonna make this very large. Now the idea is to make their heads big, very, very big. So try coming out from the inner edge and then going out like that to really, really bloat them. Okay. This takes a lot of trial and error. Let me just check something. Okay. It's one thing I forgot to do. After you make your mask, you gotta right click and then convert it to a smart object again. Do that for all three. Otherwise, it's going to maintain the mask even though you are using the liquify tool. Okay, so let's try that again. Filter, liquify. Okay. Takes a lot of trial and error. Let's go back to the pucker tool. You can use that to like slim the body, I guess. Just trying to make everything all disproportionate. Okay, is it okay? And look at that difference. Jeez, man, that is scary. Look at that. Okay. It's not the best, but it's just to give you guys the idea of which tool like this man has been using this whole time. Okay, so now we're gonna try doing that with the other two. So we're gonna go back to filter and liquify with the middle default skin selected. Now we're gonna make this very large. We're gonna bloat his face up to the max. Make his body very, very slim. Okay. Hit okay. That works. I think I'm gonna redo that one because the face is looking a little too extreme. But we'll see. Okay, now this guy. Select him, filter, liquify. And this time we're gonna focus on, yes, exactly. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Control Z is a powerful tool. The undo button. Right, this one we're gonna try to make him a little bigger. Not sure if there's a way to like make his hands smaller. Okay, let's try reducing the size. Yeah, I'm not gonna try doing that. You can make his eyes bigger. All right, hit okay. Jeez, what have we done? What have we done, man? Okay, now we're gonna resize again. Don't worry if this happens. When it's a smart object and you want to transform it, it usually disables the filter that you have added to it. And when you replace it, then it's not supposed to do that. Okay, so I see. Okay, so if you try to move it around, it will, or if you try to resize it, then the liquify tool gets all messed up. So yeah, don't do that. So I think the best thing you could do is convert it to a smart object again if you want to move it around again. And why I would want to move it around again is because there's too much empty space here. So I think we're just gonna have to work with it because I don't want to convert it to a smart object. Okay, so we have finished that phase of the thumbnail, and I wish I could have done this better, but man, I don't use the liquify tool like that. So this is like very, very unbeknownst to me. So we're missing one more thing. We're missing some eye flares. I'm gonna put the eye flares on the middle one. So let me see if I can pull that up. Let me see if I can find that. Should be here, here, and here. Let me see, which folder should it be? Ah, there we go. Laser eyes. You can find this literally everywhere you turn on Google if you just search up laser eyes. So I'm going to right click this and flip it vertically so that's pointing upwards, and then drag it up here. You might have to separate these if there's not enough space between the eyes, but let's see how this works. Okay, you know what? I think that's good. Okay. All right. What I would have done is decrease the spacing between the eyes for this guy, but it's too late now because we've already done so much. And another thing that Fe4RLess uses in this thumbnails is the motion lines, like the anime motion lines. So you can also find that on Google, and hopefully I can find it now. There you are. I'm gonna take this and drag it. Now you notice that it is black. The whole thing is black, it's not transparent. So to simply fix that, we're gonna change the blending mode for this layer. So with it selected, go here and go either of these four. Yeah, either of these 5. Lighten, screen, color dodge, linear dodge. So let's see which one would work best. Screen usually works best. And I think I'm gonna put this in the front of everyone. Hit Control T and make it larger so that it's not really covering these skins. Now we're just gonna add all the effects that make everything look more vibrant. So I'm gonna select the lowest layer. I'm gonna click the adjustments layer icon. And we're gonna add a curves, or should we add an exposure? You know what we'll do? We'll add a curves, exposure, and a vibrance. So let's start with the curves, and we're just gonna add nice brightness and contrast. So go anywhere, click a point, and drag it up towards the lighter pixels and make them brighter, and then go here towards the left or the darker pixels, select a point and drag it down. That adds nice contrast. I'm gonna click this adjustment layer icon again. Click exposure, raise the exposure a little bit, not too much though, and add a gamma correction. Okay, Now we are going to add a vibrance. So click again. The last thing I'm gonna do, I mean, I wouldn't really increase the saturation, maybe the vibrance, because it's kind of already starting to become saturated. Okay, let's see if that even makes a difference. Very, very slight difference, but you can't really notice it. Okay, so now we're gonna add the adjustments to the skins, and before we do that, we're gonna group the skins, and we're gonna select the top one and then hold shift and select the bottom one so that they're all selected, and then hit Control G to group. Go to here, I'm gonna go to curves, and now we're going to make sure that this effect only affects the skins. That's why we made a group. So we're gonna click this icon, or you can also go here, click the area in between the layers, hold Alt and click, and then an icon should appear. So we're gonna go here, make them brighter, add a nice contrast. There we go. And now one more thing that we can do after this is add some text. He likes to put lots of LMAOs in his video thumbnails, so that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna click the text tool, click anywhere to type. Wow, that is very large text. I'm gonna just type in LMAO, put 3 O's. Obviously you can't see it now because the text is 1000 for some reason. We change that to 200, and we're gonna change the font to Burbank Big Condensed. That is the Fortnite font. I'm gonna click the black version, which is the bold version. I'm not sure why they wouldn't call that the bold version, but I'm not part of the marketing team or whatever for Fortnite. And we're gonna click the check mark. Now we need to change the color, so let me just do that. Select that and click this here to change color. Take this slider, drag it up a little bit until you get to the yellows, and then go inside of this color selection, drag it all the way to the top left. It's a little gold. I want to make it a little yellower, so I'm gonna drag this a little higher. That looks good, and we're gonna hit OK. Click the check mark, and now double click the text layer. We're going to add a drop shadow, so click drop shadow. Over here I already have settings that I've already played around with, but I'm gonna increase the spread. That should do it, and you can copy down the distance 6 and the size 18. And once you're done with that, hit OK. I'm gonna click the move tool and just put it in the center. I might rotate a little bit, so I hit Control T and then just rotate it like that. Hit enter and drag it above the motion lens. And essentially, we are done with this thumbnail. And it was something else, man. But you guys can practice with the liquify tool and do something 10-20 times better than what I did, because I can't say that I'm very proud of this, but hopefully you guys got the idea. You gotta use the liquify tool and the bloat and the pucker tools within the liquify tool. That's where all the magic is in. So if you enjoy this thumbnail tutorial, please do leave a like and let me know which other YouTubers you want me to see. Please subscribe if this is your first time and if you want to be part of the Eternals. Don't forget to turn on post notifications. Leave some feedback in the comment section. I will catch you guys later in the next video. This is Eternal.